Whenever you ride a bike and wear headphones, it sounds like this. It's very annoying, but I have a solution. After taking apart the speaker, we get two 3-inch speakers. I then get onto Tinkercad and make an enclosure for the speakers. After slicing the part in Magic Slicer 3.0, we get a beautiful part. I now test fit the speakers in the holders, and to my happiness, they fit. The only problem is that the speaker holders are incredibly ugly. Like, who would want those? So I pop onto my computer and go to PCBWay.com. I don't know too much about making custom circuit boards, but I do really love PCBWay's 3D printing and CNC machining services. I have 3D printers, but I would much rather have nylon parts on my bike than PETG or PLA parts. They can also print in tool steel, titanium, resin, flexible, and so much more. After the incredibly fast shipping, just take a look at these parts. They're beautiful. All the measurements were very precise, and the parts had a beautiful finish. Alright, it's time to measure out some lengths of wire and get to it. This is a 15-watt stereo Bluetooth receiver, which is perfect for my purposes. Link in the description. This is a little box for the Bluetooth receiver that will keep it safe, sort of, and allow me to strap it onto the bike. Stripping wires. Tinning wires. Soldering the wires in place to their correct connections. And you already know my hand had to ruin the shot. Now I'm stuffing all the wires through the box. Nicely into place. A little added security to make sure this thing does not fall out or rattle around. And a beautiful little knob to finish it off. This beautiful design is from Milwaukee Batteries, but I did not design it. Once again, links in the description. These flat connectors will act as terminals, which touch the battery connectors. Make sure you look at your battery to see which side is the positive and which side is the negative before putting the wires in. They're not very secure, so we have to hot glue them in place. Now we can test it out to see if everything's working. And the light comes on, which means it is. Now we can get the wires in place for soldering to the speaker. At least my hands didn't ruin this. It all fits together very nicely. I also cut one wire shorter than the other so the wire would go to one side nicely. Now we glue the speaker in place. We can test it again because we now have a speaker attached. Since we now know everything is connected properly, I seal the box up. Here's part of how we mount the speakers to the handlebars. I will now show you an animation that I am very proud of. Try to imagine that this is the end of the handlebar. We have two wedges. When we screw them together, they expand and will not come out. I will assemble it some now so I don't have as much work later. Now I thread the Velcro straps through where they go on the battery holder and on the Bluetooth module box. I made the slots slightly too narrow, so it was very hard getting the Velcro through. I tighten the assembly as much as I can before putting it on the bike to make it easier on myself. Now all I have to do is slot the right one into the end of the handlebar and tighten it down. As you can see here, it worked very well and holds very strongly. Now I install the right speaker on the other handlebar. I now install the Milwaukee battery holder to the front of the bike. Now for the Bluetooth receiver. Now all I do is zip tie the wires in place, and after cutting them off, I'm all done. Obviously, it doesn't sound great and has very little low end, but it sounds decent and it's stereo, which I think is cool. It also sounds pretty cool. I'm going to show you a little demonstration on why the speaker has no low end. Here, I put a tiny speaker inside an oatmeal container and added a little bass port. It will sound so much better. I get out my janky amplifier and connect up the terminals with the alligator clips.